For more on all this, we're joined now live by our cybersecurity expert, Ahmed Banafa from San Jose State University. Professor, good to see you. Always appreciate the time. So Nvidia is forming this coalition with a number of other large tech companies, essentially urging lawmakers here in this country not to crack down on open source AI models. What is behind this push, and what's the argument they're making?
Good talking to you, Alex. Here's what happened. The only thing that defended the Hugging Face, which is the company that being hacked by the OpenAI rogue AI model, is actually an open source, a Chinese open source model that they managed to control it so it can, check what's going on. They try to use the one which is the current one here made in the United States and American models, but the American models could not, distinguish between the attacker and the defender. They could not give them the chance so they can check what's going on. So this kind of having an open source, it's going to open the door for a lot of companies that mentioned here in that initiative, so they can develop those tools, and those tools can be used by so many things, so many companies, small, big, medium, and they will exchange this kind of information, the database about the attacks, and it's going to make it much easier to know what's going on with the cybersecurity, because AI is now a problem. In the past, we talk about AI problem like hallucination, bias, misinformation. You can add to this one cybersecurity attacks.
Are we likely to see some pushback, though, from some of these companies like OpenAI and Anthropic that have these tightly controlled models that are not open source? Or aren't they going to say, look, it's not safe for AI models that are this powerful to be widely available to everyone?
That's a good point, because 3 companies did not join that. We're talking about OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic, and each one of them has a story. I mean, OpenAI, they are more with the access control. They are more with, we have to control everything. We have to make sure that the model has our guide rails. And what happened last week actually put them in a bad spot. Now, Google, they have their own cybersecurity suite. They have so many companies that under their control. Anthropic, from day one, they're against this kind of open source. They say that we have to make sure that it's controlled within the company, so we'll be responsible for the acts. We can check it. We can do a lot of things. So those 3 companies are not part of this initiative, and they're not excited about it. They just say, okay, show us how this is going to work.
Obviously, it appears we're sort of at a turning point, a fork in the road, if you will, when it comes to AI technology here. So, where do you see lawmakers in this country landing on this question of whether we should continue moving forward with open source AI models or put more restrictions in place?
The issue with the open source or the open weight, that's the technical name for it, is that it's mostly Chinese models. Now, the push here is to find a way that American companies can come up with open source or open weight models that can be used in this and cover this kind of a gap between us and between China. At the moment, there is no control on this one, because most of those models are coming from China and used by so many of the companies, especially the small and the medium companies, because they cannot pay tons of money to the big names that they can use the systems. Now, this is a very, very delicate balance here. You're going to hurt some companies. You're going to make some companies happy if you have this kind of restriction. But national security is always top priority for the lawmakers.
In this announcement about this AI safety coalition, including Nvidia and all these other tech companies, I mean, it really comes just a few days after we spoke last week about this unprecedented hack by these 2 OpenAI models that went rogue and hacked into that library for AI tools. How do you think that breach specifically potentially shifted the conversation and may kind of change the way this debate plays out moving forward?
It actually gave it an acceleration. You mentioned at the beginning of the segment about the CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman, and the CEO of Nvidia. They're going to be in DC tomorrow, so they can meet with the top intelligence committee, senators, to explain to them what happened, what's going on. So if they just invited Sam Altman, I know that he need to explain what's going on. But now they have the CEO of Nvidia, and he will explain, okay, so there is a solution for this, and this solution is to have an open tools that can be verified by the government, improved by the universities, and can be checked by other companies, and you have thousands of people using them. They can tell you if there's something wrong with it.
Yeah, there's going to be some intense lobbying here by all of these tech firms and these AI companies here in Washington, D.C. All right, appreciate the conversation and the perspective. Always good to have you, Wad. Ahmed Banafa, San Jose State. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex.